This is a 12.8 volt 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery from LiThink. Comes with the battery itself, terminal screws, caps, this little pocket thingy, storage, charging information. Alright, app information, video tutorial, great deal of stickers, warranty information, German, English, product manual. It's a 120 amp BMS. That's pretty nice. Their own dedicated LiThink envelope thingy. A lot of information going on the casing. Packaging was excellent. This is the box it came with. Really nice. Everything is labeled correctly. So we'll do a capacity test and we'll take a look inside. I really like what you can see right here. The plugs that hide the screws, keeping the lid on. That means I don't have to cut around the entire enclosure to get the lid off. There's a gasket on the lid keeping it sealed, and it's screwed down to the box. That's pretty nice. Okay, so let's test the capacity of the battery. I'm going to use the capacity tester, add a 10 amp load, and see if we can get 100 amp hours or above out of this LiThink battery. There we go. Now let's just let it run and I will be back with the results. So the capacity test is completed and we landed on 105.78 amp hours. That's a solid pass. Let's take a look inside. There we go. And it's open. You can see the gasket right here, keeping everything sealed tight. It's the BMS, 120 amps. You can check out the QR code if you like. So everything looks nice. The single wire on the positive side, and they double it up on the negative side. Insulated wires bolted down and glued. This battery's got self-heating and app control. Let's see if you can get the battery pack out of the enclosure and find a temp sensor. Alright, so the pack is out of the box. I had to cut away part of the enclosure because it was really glued in there. Alright, so I got the PTC right here. That's usually the heating pads, or the sensor for the heating pads. Your NTC is most likely your normal temperature sensor. Right here. So we'll do a test with the normal temp sensor, overheating test, and a low temp protection test. I have to say the cable management looks really nice. There's a metal casing holding everything in place, welded terminals, the balance leads looks to be bolted and glued. Got the openings for the valves. It's pretty nice. There's a bend in the bus bars to leave room for expansion and contraction. We wired everything up in a really nice way. Alright, so let's first test the high temp protection, 5 amp charge using the DC power supply, and we'll test it with a heat gun, see if the high temp protection kicks in. There we go. Let's see if it starts again. And there we go. So it seems high temp protection is a pass. What about low temp protection? Alright, so let's give it a go. The heating pads may prevent this low temp test to work correctly, but we'll give it a go in the ice. Not really getting anything. Let's check the app. So it seems the battery is trying to self-heat at 5 amps, so the cold temp protection will not kick in. Yeah, I'm calling it. It won't trip, but the heating function is working as it should. If the weather is cold, it will divert the power from the charge controller into the heating pads, warming up the battery and making it ready for a decent charge. Now for the overcurrent protection test. We use a cooktop, inverter, battery and a clamp meter. Set it to DC amp reading right there. And let's see if we can trip the overcurrent protection. Turning the inverter on. It's humming. Other one. 154. So it should trip. There we go. That's working. Turn everything off. And let's see if it resets itself. There we go. Do it one more time. Turning both cooktops on. 154 amps. There we go. So overcurrent protection is working exactly as it should. Well done, LiThink. All right. So, all things considered, LiThink gets a pass from me anyway. Looks like a decent battery. A really nice build quality inside. BMS is working flawlessly. I like the app itself. Gives you exactly the information you need. High temp protection is a pass. Low temp protection is pretty much covered by the self-heating function, which is really nice. We saw that the charging current got diverted into the heating pads. Overcurrent protection worked flawlessly. So yeah, looks like a really good battery. Right, got any questions or comments? Feel free to leave them down below. Check out these two videos next, because YouTube wants you to. And I'll leave affiliate links to LiThink and other products used in this video if you want to check them out. And I'll see you in the next one.